everyone, it's Nikki. Today I thought it would be a really fun idea to do an Animal Crossing 25 questions like Q&A thing. And the reason being is, if you didn't know already, Animal Crossing is celebrating its 25th year anniversary. And by the way, I came up with some of these questions. I also looked up good question ideas online. All right, now we'll begin. Question number 1 is, who's the most overrated character? I think we all know the answer to that one. Raymond, of course. Back in 2020 with New Horizons, some people were actually able to sell Raymond for $400, which is completely insane. That's how sought after that character was. And like, he's a coolish character, but not $400 cool. Question number 2, who's the most underrated character? My favorite character of all time since the GameCube days is probably Weber. I appreciate a lot of characters, but I feel like that's my favorite character overall. If you didn't know, he's this cute little duck that he is classified as a lazy type villager. So he has like a really laid back, adorable personality, and he just says the cutest things. I've always liked that character a lot. Question 3, is time traveling a good idea? So my answer to this would be yes and no. It depends on what experience you're going for. If you're playing like the newer games and you're really trying to focus on the designing side of Animal Crossing, I would say time traveling is almost a necessity. But if you're trying to have a more casual, chill experience and just kind of play the game for like its story and plot, then I would say no, because you're going to rush through all of the events too quickly. Question 4, is terraforming fun or stressful? It depends on how seriously you're getting into customizing your island. I would say it can be tedious, but also in like a fun, rewarding way. But it also could be stressful if you didn't plan things out properly and you get too deep into it, and then you realize that you need to go back and redo everything or shift everything over a few blocks. So yes and no. Question 5, what is the most boring activity? To me, it was getting through the main objectives in New Horizons. I was really excited to have full control of my island and have all of the abilities that I needed to customize it, so that was probably the most boring activity. Question 6, what is the most satisfying activity? So this one might be kind of funny. In the old games, especially the GameCube game, I thought it was really fun and satisfying to just go through my town and like pick all the weeds out of the ground. I don't know why, I just like really zoned out just doing stuff like that. Actually, my mom used to watch me play the GameCube game a lot too, and sometimes she'd be sitting on the couch and she would be so confused as to how I was having fun doing that, and she even used to joke about it, and she still actually jokes about it because she didn't really like play video games, so like to see that was just very confusing to her as to how I was having fun. So question number 7, are Cottagecore islands overdone or are they timeless? I think that they are definitely one of the more popular themes that you'll see in Animal Crossing New Horizons, but I think it's for a good reason. So overall, I would say they're timeless. The reason being is not all themes fit the island appropriately all year round. So when you think of an island, a lot of times you think of like a tropical island. So I think a lot of people would like to make it tropical themed. But you have to remember, in Animal Crossing, you get to experience all 4 seasons to their fullest extent. So you get a winter, you get a spring, fall, summer. Cottagecore kind of fits the aesthetic of all 4 seasons really well. But if you were trying to go for like a tropical theme, it's not going to look right in the wintertime. So, and I think there's a lot of other themes like this, so I think that's why Cottagecore is so popular and it looks very natural and cozy. Question 8, do you prefer messy islands or super curated? I would say mostly curated. Messy can look alright if it's like intentional, but at the same time, I think that technically falls under curated because you're just trying to like make it look more natural, but it still has to be somewhat planned out. Question 9, who is the best NPC? Maybe Tortimer, because he's the original mayor of the town and he used to have like a really funny personality. So if we're talking about those NPCs, like not villager NPCs. So I'm gonna go with Tortimer. Question 10, who is the most annoying NPC? I would say Lyle in Wild World. He used to originally be an insurance salesman and he used to harass you all the time and it was very annoying. Question 11, is the turnip business fun or stressful? To me, neither. I didn't really get into the whole turnip economy thing. I dabbled in it, but it just kind of felt like overall it was fruitless. Question 12. What is the best game in the series? So I think this is a hard question because it's not really fair to compare all the games to each other. I think the older games certainly have their charm. You can't really reinvent or replicate the original charm, especially from like the GameCube game. I do think that the new games have all brought something unique to the table. So every game has like brought something interesting and new. I do think the new games have done a really good job with improving on things and making the graphics better, of course, and allowing you to like design more. Question 13, Isabelle or Tom Nook? Who is better at their job? I feel like Isabelle in the recent games has been like taking on a lot more of the like work and making sure everything's running properly. So I would go with Isabelle. Question 14, should Nintendo add fingers to our characters? No, that would be really weird looking, and I've seen pictures online that people have like shown of what that would look like, and no, that's really creepy. Question 15, if you could create a new villager type, what animal and hobby would they have? So they have ducks, but I always thought it would be cool if they had a Canadian goose, and his hobby would be being a bread connoisseur, because what else? Question 16, which villager best represents your real life personality? So it would be a mix between Weber, because I like how laid back he is, and Ketchup because I like how spunky she is, and maybe Mallory because she's kind of like the voice of reason. My personality is very dynamic, but I would say I appreciate those personality traits most. Question 17, which villager would you banish to another island immediately? I mean, that's kind of mean, but if the question is more like what's your least favorite villagers, I would say villagers with like facial hair kind of freak me out. If we're talking strictly about their appearance. Like facial hair is fine, but like not on an Animal Crossing villager. It's just kind of weird looking, unless they're like a goat, because goats are supposed to have, you know, their little goatee going on. Yeah, I don't like the way that Beardo or Barreled look, and I'm not really a fan of Velma's beard. It just looks kind of odd. Question 18, if you were an Animal Crossing villager, what would your personality type be? Lazy, jock, snooty, etc. So it's hard to say because I feel like those personality types are like, the labels are kind of mismatching a little bit. Like when they call lazy villagers lazy, usually they're just like laid back, and I think there's a very big difference between that. Like I'm not a lazy person, but I do like the laid back mentality. Question 19, what in-game item would you like to see turned into real life merchandise? I would say any of the leaf-shaped items, like using like their Animal Crossing logo leaf. I think those are really cool, and especially like the 25-year anniversary leaf lamp, that would be awesome to have. I also think the froggy chair would do really well. I've also always liked their fruit decor, like their fruit furniture and stuff. Those look really cute too, so I mean, I wouldn't mind having those in real life. Question 20, which NPCs should have been brought back in ACNH? In the GameCube, and maybe a couple of other games, there was the character Blanca, and you got to draw a face like on her face, and she was like this cat. And Gracie. So Gracie was this giraffe who would bring their car to your like town, and they would ask you to wash their car, and then in like the GameCube game you could get items for doing that, and that was really fun. Question 21, what features are missing from New Horizons that you would like to see brought back from older games? So one of the ones I miss the most is Celeste's observatory. I'm glad that Celeste is in New Horizons, but I think they need to bring her observatory back because that was really fun, especially in Wild World. And then I do miss this one random weird thing in the GameCube game. So whenever Tortimer would go on vacation, he would ask you to be on lighthouse duty, which meant you had to go visit the lighthouse every night and turn on the light. And it felt like such a special little like hidden thing that you could do because you normally didn't have access to it. So that was always really fun. And another one I miss is kind of like how you have the villagers visit and they set up a tent in New Horizons. Well, in the GameCube game, and maybe one of the other games too, they used to be able to set up an igloo during the winter time, and you would have like a villager just like making chowder. That's what it was. They were making chowder inside their igloo, and it just looks so warm and cozy in there. So I really miss that. Question 22. Do you think Animal Crossing will make a new game? Yes, of course they will. It was, if not their top selling game on the Nintendo Switch, it was one of the top ones. So yeah, Animal Crossing is definitely going to be making another game. The only thing I kind of speculated that they might do instead of just making a brand new game is they might make like a massive package basically to the game where it basically could cost like maybe close to what a brand new game would cost, or like half of that. And what they could do is they could add a lot of content, so that way you don't have to like restart completely or like get all of your villagers again or make a brand new catalog or anything. But what they could do is they could add like an equal amount of content, but they could have like other habitats, regions that you could go to, and kind of have to like restart at those places, but you still have everything that you had in this game. I think it would be really cool to do something like that, and then that way it could feel like the games are connected. I would really like to see something like that. Question 23. Which game had the best music? Really, all the games have had good music. I think the GameCube era had the best like hourly soundtracks. New Leaf was really good too, actually. Question 24. How many hours have you put into Animal Crossing? Way too many. In New Horizons alone, I've put over 1,000 hours. I probably put equally that many, if not more, in the GameCube game a long time ago. And I put a decent amount into Wild World, and I feel like I put less hours into the other games, but still probably a pretty big amount. All right, and this brings us to question 25. What change would you like to see going forward in Animal Crossing? You know how like we used to be able to visit a city to go to like the NPC shop? I think it would be really cool to add something like that, like a city area that has to be a city, but you would still be able to customize it quite a bit. Maybe you could like design the buildings or the shops and the themes to that, but maybe you can move the characters from like Harvey's Island over to that city. I think that would be a really fun idea, and then maybe they could add new NPCs and new things to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun doing the Animal Crossing 25th anniversary Q&A. If you guys would like to do the same Q&A, I can actually put all the questions in the description below. So I encourage you to answer these questions as well. So I hope to see you guys next time, and happy 25 years to Animal Crossing. Bye.